We are curious, like others, to find the buildings and the cities of tomorrow. We look for technology which treats people nicely as well as nature. And this is what Frei Otto already said in the 70s, and I think a lot of Achim's work and a lot of work we have seen today is still very much in line with this.
I actually can't say when we started. It was a discussion between the two of us, which is constantly ongoing with Thomas as a climate designer. You see the engineer, the architect and the climate designer, which are the three disciplines developing the building. Seeing the building envelope as a key component of the building, as the barrier between inside and outside, but also as, say, the defining line between energy losses and energy win. And this is where, say, this engineering part, this design part and the climate design part came together. This was a kind of a starting point.
I believe all the three of us are very much into the idea that only an open mind for new ideas can create new solutions. In the past we were too much focused only on the thermal losses. You know, the German Energieeinsparverordnung very much concentrates on how you prevent to lose something, not to lose energy, and now this conference is more about the idea, also again in a synergetic way, how can you generate energy and store it also.
This is why the whole thing is called PowerSkin. This is really about the power and the skin and how to get this combined.
And it requires a lot of research. Facades are getting more complex, and there's at all universities, at all technical universities, a lot of research going on. There's the BAU, where 250,000 people come to Munich. We thought it's a good platform.
We bring together not only different facade-related disciplines, but also more scientific contribution and more contribution from practice, from architecture office. No need to say that we aim for high quality. So in the beginning, abstracts have been reviewed if they're suited in terms of their content. Apart from that, we have done a second review to identify the most or the best scientific related contribution.
We got a very good keynote speech by Achim Menges. We're going to get a very good one by Stephen Salkowitz.
With computation, we actually have the possibility, both from an architectural point of view, from a fabrication point of view, and from an engineering point of view, to think about new sort of ways of synthesizing computation and materialization. Let's say our research is not primarily focused on the building envelope, but I think what it can offer is an integrative mode of design thinking that I think is as relevant to facades and envelopes as it is to other elements of architecture.
My hypothesis is that it's possible to do a facade system that outperforms any insulated wall. The bad news is it's not easy, and you can't just make the design, you actually have to build it and make it work. And one of my favorite words here is scalable. I was talking to someone before that it's great to be involved in projects, one-off projects where you do a really great building and it works well and everyone's happy, but the question is, can you do that 1,000 times or 100,000 times? If you can't do it 100,000 times, then you're not going to keep the ice caps from melting, you're not going to solve those problems.
And then we have the three sessions which are distinguished between environment, facade and construction. We had really high-end research.
My presentation is 3D printed low-tech future facades, which enhances the development of a 3D printed building envelope with functional integration. One of the key points of 3D printing or additive manufacturing, the advantage is to combine different functions in one building part, in one building element, to find solutions to really introduce 3D printing in architecture in a smart way, not only form but function.
The title of the presentation was Architecture Fully Fashioned, and it's about lightweight architecture and foamed spacer fabrics. Because of the lightweight aspects, because of the textile aspects, it's a new way to produce facade elements. We combine these textiles with foamed materials, and so the materiality also gives future options for building envelopes.
My presentation today is an investigation on the relation between outdoor comfort and people's mobility, and it's modeled on the case study of the Elytra pavilion in the Victoria and Albert Museum in London. I think it's important for architects, for engineers, to not to concentrate only on buildings, but also on what buildings determine on the urban level.
Today I presented a research on field monitoring in Mediterranean climate to quantify the thermal performances of vertical greening systems. This is an important topic because green envelopes are now widespread built in the last few years. So actually presenting this type of quantitative analysis will allow designers and engineers to be sure they can fully exploit the potentialities of this kind of greening systems in order to improve the thermal performances, improve outdoor thermal comfort, reduce the urban island effect in cities.
The main motivation is really to share the results I found out with my research and hopefully to find some other people who are on the same wave, riding in the same direction.
This is the type of conference that can link the different field of professionals and researchers.
We are really overwhelmed by the response we got. Also, we have a proceeding which is fantastic. And so all the visitors coming, they're really giving us such a great response.
I think we're very happy with the numbers attending here. The discussions are great, and I think we'll aim for a next round.